Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Alex, and today I thought I'd share some of my favorite home decor items from Mexico that I think would work perfect in any Bohemian style interior. So today I'm going to run through a list of some really pretty things, and then I'll give you some tips on how to incorporate this type of decor into your home. So let's get into it. Now, for those that aren't familiar with the term Bohemian, it's an interior design style that usually features lots of colors and patterns and really embodies a carefree, relaxed attitude. It's a very casual style that often includes handmade goods from different areas of the world. So this is a great style to look into if you're someone that does a lot of traveling and you like to collect things from wherever you visit. About a month ago, my partner and I traveled down to Puerto Vallarta in the state of Jalisco, and aside from the beaches, the sun, and the amazing food, I couldn't help but check out all of the local shops to see what they had to offer. You can find some really amazing handmade products from all over Mexico, but one of my favorites is the first thing on my list, which is the Otomi textiles. Now, the Otomi are an indigenous group from central Mexico, and they're quite famous for their textiles, which feature hand-embroidered patterns of animals and plants on a white muslin fabric. They come in all colors and sizes, so you can find large pieces to use as bedding or wall hangings, or sometimes people even use them for lampshades. Regardless of how they're used, they really bring an element of whimsy and fun to any space. The multicolored pieces are pretty intense visually, but you can also find them in solid colors. My little throw pillows in my library are this gold color, which is really nice. And on this trip, I also managed to score an all black pillow, which works great with the black and white thing I have going on in my living room. Now, these textiles are beautiful, but they are labor intensive to make. So if you buy them from an online import store, they can get kind of pricey. So if you happen to plan a trip down to Mexico, you can get them for much cheaper. Plus, you also get to eat tacos too, so win-win. Okay, the next thing on our list is also in the category of textiles, and that is Sarapes. Now, these blankets come from the northern area of Mexico where my family is from, and they're probably the first thing you think of when you hear the phrase Mexican blanket. They're characterized by stripes of different bright colors with a little fringe on the ends. One thing I find hilarious though is that if you Google Mexican blanket, you will find like 99% of the websites will feature a photo of a woman posing artfully while wearing the blanket. Just like this woman, this woman, this woman, this woman, as well as this woman, this woman, this woman, and these women. You know what? They do look pretty fancy. I wonder if I could... Oh, sorry. I was just trying to be artsy too. Anyway, the point is, these little blankets pack a lot of punch in terms of color, so bringing one of these into your interior can really make it feel fun and festive. Next on the list is dishware. Now, there's a lot of different styles available and they're all handmade, but one of my very favorites is the earthenware style. I love the simple terracotta look of this style, and the little flower motifs are really charming. I have a collection of these types of dishes, and what I love about these is that they're both earthy and elegant. And look how pretty this blue detail is here. I recently found out that there are some vendors selling this style of dinnerware on Amazon, so I'll leave that link in the description box. One thing to note is that because they're fired at a low temperature, they can chip if you're not careful, so you do have to treat them very carefully. But I just love these. I mean, look how stinking cute this bean pot is. Aside from the earthenware style of dishes, there's also this beautiful blue and white style. These are also pretty popular in Mexico, so they're relatively easy to find. And I love the teacups and saucers. They're perfect for having some Mexican hot chocolate. And the last style of dishware I want to show you today is the Talavera style. This is the most colorful of the bunch, and there are endless patterns and color combinations available. I especially love getting fruit bowls in this style. They're so beautiful and look great on a table. Now, we can't talk dishes without talking glasses, obviously, so the next item on the list is glassware. You can't go wrong with the classic blue rim pitchers and glasses. These are simple and stylish, but there are some other styles out there too, like these confetti glasses, and on my trip last month, I saw these floral etched glasses which were absolutely fabulous. I'm definitely buying some the next time I'm down there. So the next thing on the list is lighting, specifically Mexican star pendants. These are everywhere in Mexico, and they range from the classic punch tin versions to the frosted glass ones. These would look great hung at different heights, and a cluster of them together would make a really nice focal point above a dining room table, for example. There's a website called Direct from Mexico that has a ton of different styles to choose from. Up next is the Acapulco chair. Now this is a chair that was developed in Mexico in the 1950s, and it's gone on to become really popular. These can be used outdoors or indoors too, and there are even some love seat versions available. The black ones are really beautiful, but I also love the colorful options because they're attractive and whimsical at the same time. Aside from a Bohemian setting, these would also look great in any mid-century modern interior. They are from the 50s after all. The last category on my list is folk art. Now there's a ton of different types of Mexican folk art, but some of my favorites include the alebrijes, which are fanciful carved wooden animals painted in bright colors, as well as Day of the Dead figurines. If you're not familiar with the culture, these skull figures may seem a little creepy, but I think they have a charm and a sense of humor about them. I love my little mariachis, but my favorite ones are probably the nuns with buns. Why are they called that, you ask? Well, take a look. Pretty great, right? Some other types of Mexican art that I've collected include bark paintings. These are great because the paper they use is really textural and it's a great backdrop for the bright imagery that's painted on them. There are really many options to choose from when it comes to Mexican folk art, but some of the most impressive works are the goods made by another Mexican indigenous group called the Huichol. These are covered in thousands of tiny glass beads. There are all types of animals and masks, but my favorite pieces are the bowls made of gourds and then decorated with the beads in geometric patterns. I think they're so gorgeous. Now, as far as how to incorporate this type of decor into your home, I find that colorful items tend to look best against a really neutral background. So think white walls or gray walls with medium to light wood tones, for some warmth. The idea being that you want like a really quiet background so that the colorful items become the star and don't get overwhelmed by a whole bunch of other stuff. Let's take a look at some examples. So here in all these images, you'll notice that everything is mostly white and simple, and so the Otomi bedspread, the throw pillows, sarape, and wall art really stand out. The sarape in this image picks up on the colors of the books, but the floor is very simple and the walls are all white. I love this photo. And in this image here, a yellow Acapulco chair makes a striking focal point, and it's supported by the yellow frame on the wall behind it and some bananas, which is a choice, I guess. And then here in the last image, the star is the colorful rug, so everything else, including the furniture, is very neutral in color. In this last photo, the materials are concrete, stucco, and wood, and all of them take a backseat to the colorful textiles. Now, another thing that's a good idea if you want to consider bringing some of this type of decor into your home is to keep your existing color palette in mind. My living room colors are blacks, whites, grays, and ivories, so I kept that in mind as I looked at a bunch of textile options. In the end, I found this blanket that had some of those colors, but also had some blue in it. I decided to drape it along the back of my sofa. It's always a good idea to repeat colors throughout your space, so I decided to bring in some blue accents, like my framed butterfly, a rabbit alebrije, and I swapped the art on my frame TV to show this architectural photo of a house in Mexico that is painted blue. I also decided to add this sarape as a throw behind some neutral colored pillows. I like doing this because it gives a shot of color to this corner, but it's not overwhelming. And my black Otomi pillow looks right at home surrounded by other black accent pieces. The finishing touches are some folk art. Here, another rabbit alebrije on my coffee table, and my beautiful little bowls. Seeing all these colorful accents in my space really just makes me smile. I hope I've inspired you to bring in some beautiful Mexican items into your home. With so many options to choose from, I'm sure you'll find something that you love. And it's always great to have something handmade in your space and learn more about the culture that it's from. Okay, that does it for us today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And stay tuned because next time I think we're going to be doing a tour of the tiny house, or at least the living room portion. So please look forward to that. All right, take care guys. We'll see you next time.